Today we're demystifying the incredible craft of freehand milling so that you can source your own timber, save a ton on building materials without forking out big bucks on expensive machinery. And the way we're going to do that is I'll show you how to do it with one hand, because if it can be done with one hand, then it can be done with two. Let's check it out. I'll also run you through the basic process, marking your vertical line and your horizontal line. And then later I'll give you the one and only secret that I was given that took me from being a complete hack from one cut to the other. Everything just kind of clicked for me. So I'll clean up some of these lines first, finish my marking, and then we'll start fresh over there. And then we'll get into some milling and we'll check out the results later. So here we're just salvaging a lot of timber and wood because there's a lot of trees that are just uprooted and fallen over. Some of them have got some rotten stuff in them. So we're just trying to get as much as we can out of them. None of it's perfect, but there is just so much material that you can use for building and just doing stuff around your property, which is a really good thing about freehand milling. You can just go anywhere and do anything with it. So the idea is you want to make sure your log's off the ground so that you're not getting your chain and bar stuck into the dirt. Obviously, what you want to do is get it relatively level. So I've just chocked it up with some chocks down the end just to make sure it's nice and sturdy and not wobbling around. Another way you can do it is just sticking a stake in one end and putting a few screws, but the idea is so that the log doesn't move and then change angle, because then you don't want your angles to start changing as you're milling. So it's all pretty simple stuff. We're set up here. I'll finish marking these lines. You can have a bit of a look and then we'll take the camera down there and we'll do some close-up stuff. Let's get into it. So just on the horizontal marks, you just want to focus on cutting half of your chalked line. Sounds crazy, but it is really simple. The chain just kind of finds its own groove, or the curve that you create, and it just follows itself. It's just all about steadying the body of the chainsaw at the back. It's really simple. Just a square for measuring, or a tape measure, and chalk your line and then mark it all in one go, and so on and so forth. Once you do chalk your line, make sure you're marking on the right side of it. We've marked on the inside of our line, so we haven't got a 2-inch board here. It's turned into about 1.5 inches. But that's all right, we're only human, we all make mistakes. Righto, this is it. You don't need to put a level. Some people put levels on their chainsaw, screw levels in to try and keep the chainsaw level and all that sort of stuff. They put string lines to try and follow that. But all you have to do is mark a vertical line here. You can use a level if you like. I sometimes like to just mark my first vertical line with a level, and then the main thing is that you're just coming parallel. Your vertical and your horizontal obviously have to match, because it's this angle that we follow all the way along our horizontal mark. That's how we get parallel boards, right? From there, it's just measuring parallel. As you start getting good, you can just mark it by eye. So it's just really simple. All you're doing is you just start milling, you're creating this curve, what I like to call the groove, because once you get in the groove, you stay in the groove. And the one secret, and the only thing that I was ever told, that I promised you earlier, is always mill from here to there. That's the only thing I was ever told. Naturally, with the chainsaw, we always think that we want to be pulling back on the chainsaw to be cutting something, right? From cutting firewood, we're always engaging as much of the chain as possible to get the most efficient cuts. But that's not the case with freehand milling. That's when you start hacking into the sides of your boards. You just slowly start building this ramp inside that I explain in the course. You build this little ramp, and then your chain and bar just sits in the groove, and then you follow it all the way along. You don't have to mark your vertical lines on the other side, because you always just pop out parallel, because as long as you're starting parallel, you finish parallel. All right, let's just do some freehand milling with one hand so you can see really how simple it is. This is not a video to impress you, this is just to inspire you, because if you can do it with one hand, then obviously you can do it with two. And there's just so much material that's overlooked because we think that we need big expensive machinery to be able to source our own material, and it's just not true. It's just so simple and so basic. And it's just really cool being able to use a chainsaw in a way that it wasn't made for. And once you get the milling down, you can notch with it, you can shave 2 millimeters. It's just the same movement, you know, it just opens up a whole world of possibilities. The chainsaw is so much more versatile than anyone believes. So I'm just here to change your mind about it so you can get out into nature and start enjoying the chainsaw as much as I do. All right, let's keep going. secret is in the elbow. If you're interested in learning how to freehand mill properly, check out the course. We have exercises that break down everything. It's a really simple craft once you understand all the process properly. Even if you're an absolute beginner, there's a complete chainsaw fundamentals course that teaches you everything from maintenance, sharpening your chain, and all the types of cuts, compression and tension. It's a big deep dive. We have our own private online forum. You can ask me a question so that you can feel confident and comfortable using a chainsaw and then advancing through your freehand milling skills. It's a 2-course bundle at the moment because we're launching in September 2024. All right, check it out. Let's keep going. You're just pushing the thing up the ramp, it just comes cutting back down and it's inside the groove. There's no hacks inside there. I obviously can't use one hand and let the bar pop out the bottom because then it's going to go in the dirt. I need to grab it with my other hand, but you're just staying in the groove. You can even maybe see that my chain is wobbling a little bit when it's coming out because I only have one hand to sturdy it, but it just goes back in the groove because you've started right and you're going to finish right. Let's keep going. Now I normally like to leave a rack like this, so I've just got 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and then I clear all my holding wood later. The only time I would do one board and off is when it's a bigger tree, even one like this, so I don't have to stand on top of it. That just means you have to put a stake in the end and then you can just mill one board or one slab at a time and take it off. But I've just done this so we can see how nice these cuts are in here with no hacking, and it just leaves this beautiful pattern, even with one hand. Simple. So you can see they're just nice, perfect, straight cuts. So there you have it. It's very simple. It's not so difficult at all. I learned all this stuff living deep in the Andes Mountains and it just absolutely blew my mind. The first time I saw it, I was like, there's no way you can do that with a chainsaw. And as I said, the only secret that anyone ever gave me was always work from here to there. You never want to be pulling back on the saw. That's when you start hacking into your boards and get these horrible cuts. Freehand milling isn't something that's impossible like we all believe. We just don't think about using chainsaws like this because we're so used to machines and milling machines and Lucas mills and all that sort of stuff. And of course, if you want to learn this, or even if you're a beginner and you just want to learn how to feel really confident and comfortable with a chainsaw with detailed instruction and progressive steps to developing confidence and complete awareness and understanding while working with trees, check out my courses. At the moment, depending on when you're watching this video, but until September 2024, they're bundled together, so you're getting both courses at a discounted price. So it's in the link, check it out, and I hope to see you in there. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. Take care, be safe out there with the chainsaw, and have fun. Cheers.